Hello, I'm Annette Young and welcome to the 51%, a show about women reshaping our world. In this special edition, we're focusing on the plight of migrants, particularly women and children who make that perilous journey from French shores to the UK. It's an issue that has redrawn Britain's political landscape. This as the number of unauthorised migrants arriving on UK's southern coastline has reached unprecedented levels. Britain and France having finalised a deal on how to reduce the numbers, with the UK accepting some asylum seekers but returning others to France. Yet what conditions do women and children face as they seek to make that incredibly risky crossing? Claire Paquelin and Pauline Goddard went to one camp on the outskirts of Dunkirk to find out.
An aid distribution point near Dunkirk in northern France. We meet women from Sudan, Eritrea, Afghanistan and Iraq who've come for donations of clothes, soap and sanitary towels.
There has been an increase in the number of women and children here on the coast. We didn't see this coming. There are 3 times more than last year. By the end of June, we'll have used up all of our supplies. It's a problem.
All of these families are in northern France for one reason. They want to cross the sea in small boats and reach the United Kingdom. More are here now because it's summer. The weather is warmer and the sea is calmer. 18-year-old Arwan is from Iraqi Kurdistan. She's travelling with her parents and younger siblings.
My dream, I want to have my family with me and a quiet life and a good life. I don't want, for example, a lot of money and just a quiet life, just a simple life.
Out of fear or shame, no one wanted us to film their faces. We're unable to go further into the camp. None of the women agreed to take us in. Some are scared the self-appointed leaders who run things inside would be furious with them. Nearby, in the changing rooms of a local football club, the Refugee Women's Centre gives women and their children a chance to wash and relax. Clean clothes, makeup, hair products. It's a safe place away from the camp.
The fact is that there are no safe places for women to relieve themselves at night. It's a safety issue because the camp isn't lit at night and there's no access to toilets. So one of the things we distribute the most is adult nappies.
A rare moment of calm. Mariam and her daughters are from Sudan, a country in the midst of a civil war. Inside the camp, she fears for their safety.
I'm so scared someone will take my daughters somewhere and hurt them. I stay with them all the time.
Leaving Sudan, her mother, crossing Libya and then the Mediterranean, Mariam and her husband took many risks to get to France. But she did not want her daughters growing up to the sounds of gunfire. She hopes to meet up with her brother in the UK.
My brother told me to cross because he's already there. We could help and support each other. He would take away some of my suffering and problems. Or I could ask for asylum here. It's been so hard. The memories are painful. May God protect us.
Helen and her sister Sarah are from Eritrea. Tonight, they're going to try to cross the sea to the UK.
This is if the boat will sink.
The volunteers explain what to do if the small boat capsizes or sinks.
2.2360. So the location will change. And if you have to call for help, you just activate the location and you give the number. Like this.
The two sisters leave, determined to reach the UK as soon as possible.
I'm not afraid because today is hot. When it's cold, this will be difficult. But I think today's weather is nice. So we will try.
They didn't manage to cross. They were prevented by the French police. But that same night, 919 migrants did reach the south coast of England in small boats.
And joining me in the studio is Lucy Feutrier-Cook, a specialist on migration and asylum seekers. Lucy, thank you for your time. Given the report that we've just watched, just how serious is the situation now, especially when you compare it to what we witnessed back in 2015, where we saw tens of thousands of people arrive from countries such as Syria, Iraq and Afghanistan?
Yeah, of course, 10 years after, we still have the same nationalities who seek for refuge being in Calais and try to cross to reach Great Britain. There are still Sudanese, there are still Afghans, there are still Iraqis, Syrian, Eritreans. These are the same nationality coming from conflict zone or authoritarian regime. And they still wish to cross to join a family member or for other opportunities or find refuge. So in that aspect, the changes are not that tremendous. But what changed dramatically is the security measures in 10 years. The investment in security has been growing. I think since 2018, it's more than 600 million invested in the security measures from Great Britain to France. And now there are just like small camps everywhere who are constantly evicted. Every 48 hours, nobody can really settle. And also the control by land, by sea are also increasing. And the consequences is that people are taking more risk. They are taking more pathways such as crossing through the sea that increase with time, and also as a result the risk and the death increase dramatically.
So how many of those migrants are women and children, and what sort of risks are they facing?
The women and children on the coastline are a minority. There are close to 10-15% of them. Most of the women will just travel with families and with children. It's what we can see, but their numbers are increasing from a period to another. Right now, they are more numerous. And of course, as a woman, also a woman carrying a child, being with small children, being in those degrading conditions, waiting, but also being exposed to all sorts of abuse or violence is really big preoccupation. They cannot seek for really any form of protection. It's a transit zone. So you're just here you're supposed to be here just for a few days or few weeks. They have no really essential like rights basically respected either. So yeah, the risks are even higher for them as women, especially on the gender-based violence they can face, which is a constant pattern of their whole journey. This is the last step.
What sort of precautions can they take and do they take?
I think, first of all, we don't really see a lot of women because they are pretty aware of the risk they are taking, going through this pathway or staying in those really precarious conditions. But some of them will travel with a friend or with their husband too, or in family. That's a sort of protection, kind of. But also they can travel all together as women in a group to find a way to have strategy. They could try to put like a lot of money just to do a really quick crossing so that it will be short. But they have to have the means for that. So there is not many ways to protect yourself except trying to spend as little time as possible in this zone.
Lucy, let's just take a pause there because as we've seen, female migrants do indeed face a high risk of violence. And while reporting domestic or sexual violence is a significant ordeal for any woman, it's even more so if you're an undocumented migrant here in France. This report by David Gilberg and Jennifer Ben-Brahim.
In 2020, Mariam fled Mauritania, where she'd been forced into marriage as a teenager. Once in Paris, she found herself homeless until a man offered to take her in.
He saw that I had no papers, so he held me captive. I had no rights. I was afraid of the police, of being deported, so he took advantage. He said, "You can't talk and I can do whatever I want. I'll rape you and you won't be able to say anything because you don't have papers."
Fear kept Mariam silent for a long time, but after talking it over with staff at the asylum centre, she decided to escape. But she was still too scared to report him because of her legal status. According to an Amnesty International report, only 6% of women who are victims of sexual violence file a complaint in France, and even less for the most vulnerable groups.
Migrant women who have walked into a police station of their own accord because they are victims of sexual violence have received an order to leave the French territory in the police station. Some have been put in detention immediately, and some have even been deported.
Amnesty is calling for a change in the law and the application of the Istanbul Convention, ratified by France, which provides for the protection of all women who are victims of violence. This police station in Paris is a pioneer on this issue.
There are ways of regularizing foreign women who are victims of domestic violence, and that's why we work with them to ensure that they report what has happened, that they signal the danger so that we can apply for protection orders and they can be regularized in this way.
Mariam was granted refugee status in 2024. It gives her legal protection. A few weeks ago, she went to the police station to lodge a complaint after being attacked on public transport.
And watching that report with me in the studios, Lucy Feutrier-Cook, a specialist on migration and asylum seekers. This is a big question to ask you, but how can governments truly seek to end this tragic problem?
Yeah, I think it's important to work attentively on the legal safe pathways, first of all. We need to remind the audience that if all those risks are taken and the women especially are exposed to this type of violence, is in absence of legal and safe pathways. So we need to also work probably more on new pathways or use what we have as legal tools. But also we need to work more collectively on a European level, how to welcome better those women in exile, those people in exile in dignity, and also really to shape how reception policies to the special needs and also to the special needs of women.
Lucy, it's been great speaking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's it for this edition. So until our next show, bye for now.